all, Sharms Espina here, homegrown and glad to get you up to speed on the hot stories here and abroad in PTV News Now. And tonight we revisit last night's auspicious event when the official campaign period kicked off and the handpicked bets of the president gathered in solid North Country for his ringing endorsement, which was punctuated by a rousing, jaw-dropping send-off. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., once sworn into office, has yet to lash out or speak ill of the Aquinos or even his political arch-rival Leni Robredo, whose home province he visited twice last year to spearhead relief distribution for calamity victims. He has also remained calm and reticent in the face of taunts and threats from his estranged vice president and her father/his predecessor, who've made unfounded, even ad hominem attacks against him and his family, even calling out the military to go on a coup and unseat him as president last year. But never mistake silence in keeping one's impulses in check or under control for weakness. In yesterday's official kickoff for the midterm polls campaign period, the president hailed his handpicked dozen candidates for the Senate of the 20th Congress and touted them for serving honorably and dutifully in various capacities and positions in government. The last 2.5 minutes of his speech, he especially set aside for a swipe against those who falsely smeared him and his family and undermined his government by juxtaposing them to his chosen senatorial lineup for the polls in May.
Bukod po dyan, tignan niyo po ang record ng ating mga kandidato. Wala sa kanila ang may bahid ng dugo dahil sa tukhang. Wala sa kanilang kasabwat sa pagbulsa ng sako-sakong pera, pinagsamantalahan ang krisis ng pandemya, pinabayaan ang ating mga kababayan na magkasakit at mamatay. Wala sa kanila ang mga pumapalakpak sa China at natutuwa pa kapag tayo ay binobomba ng tubig. Tinatamaan ang ating mga Coast Guard, hinaharang ang ating mga mangingisda, ninanakaw ang kanilang huli. At bukod pa ron ay inaagaw pa ang mga isla natin para maging bahagi ng kanilang bansa. Wala po sa kanila ang tilang sakristan ng isang bulaang propeta na nasasakdal dahil sa pagyurak sa ating kabataan at sa ating kababaihan. Wala sa kanila ang tagataguyod ng pugad ng krimen, ng sentro ng paglalapastangan ng mga kababaihan na mga pogo. Tayo ngayon ay nasa sangandaan ng ating paglalakbay bilang isang malayang bansa. Bilang isang sambayanang may dangal, may sipag at may talino. Kaya't sa darating na Mayo po, huwag niyo na pong tignan ang mga ibang mga pangalan. I-shade nyo na po lahat po itong nandito na nasa harap ninyo at gawing nating 12-0 ang ating resulta sa Senado. Nang sa ganon, matitiyak natin ang kinabukasan ng ating minamahal na Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang alyansa! Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas! Mabuhay tayong lahat. Maraming salam, Diyos check. Di na kada kayo aming
And turning now to news overseas. It didn't matter King Abdullah II of Jordan was right there beside him, but U.S. President Donald Trump held sway against international pushback and insisted on his Gaza takeover plan to totally uproot and exile all Gaza Palestinians to Jordan and Egypt for good. VOA's White House Bureau Chief Patsy Widakuswara has this story.
Palestinians in the Gaza Strip fear the return of war after Hamas's threat to delay the next planned release of Israeli hostages and U.S. President Donald Trump's call to cancel the ceasefire.
We have had enough of wars. We have begun to wish for death.
As he hosted Jordan's King Abdullah II at the White House Tuesday, Trump doubled down on his plan to take over Gaza.
I think it's going to be something that's going to be magnificent for the Palestinians. They're going to be in love with it. I did very well with real estate. I can tell you about real estate. They're going to be in love with it.
The Palestinians, along with Jordan, Egypt, and various other countries, have rejected Trump's plan to forcibly relocate an estimated 1.9 million Gaza residents into neighboring countries. But other than saying he would immediately receive 2,000 children in Gaza sick with cancer and other illnesses, King Abdullah declined Trump's invitation to share his counteroffer.
I think we have to keep in mind that there is a plan from Egypt and the Arab countries. We're being invited by Mohammed bin Salman to discussions in Riyadh. I think the point is how do we make this work in a way that is good for everybody.
It's a high-stakes meeting for Abdullah, who must maintain ties with a key ally whom Jordan depends on for foreign assistance. Trump hinted Monday he would withhold aid, but backtracked on Tuesday. Many Jordanians are descendants of displaced Palestinians. If Abdullah supports Trump's plans, it will create major political and economic problems and allow Hamas to enter, says Gaith Al-Omari of the Washington Institute for Near East Policy.
Hamas could create not only domestic problems in terms of terror, but also there's a fear that Jordan might then become a staging ground for attacks on Israel. All of these things will create very, very severe threats to Jordan's stability and maybe even survival.
Al-Omari said Trump's takeover plan removes the incentive for Hamas to continue the ceasefire. On Monday, the U.S.-designated terror group threatened to delay the next planned release of hostages, alleging Israeli truce violations. Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu responded with the same ultimatum.
The decision I passed unanimously in the cabinet is this. If Hamas does not return our hostages by Saturday noon, the ceasefire will end, and the IDF will return to intense fighting until Hamas is finally defeated.
Israel will hand over Gaza to the U.S. after the war, Trump has said.
We're not going to buy anything. We're going to have it, and we're going to keep it, and we're going to make sure that there's going to be peace, and there's not going to be any problem, and nobody's going to question it.
These Gazans would disagree. Patsy Widakuswara, Viewing News, Washington.
Right now, let's turn to our PTV correspondent in our Baguio City studios for what's hot and happening in the Cordilleras. Ala?
Naimbag Arabi Pilipinas, nailista ti Baguio City Local Civil Registry Office ti 4.20% increase iti bilang dagiti pimusay iti syudad iti napan atawon. Di datos ng mato iti 124 ti registered deaths iti syudad, manipot iti 2,955 iti 2023, aging ka 3,079 iti 2024. May basar pa iti record, dagiti agtawan 6 ag pangato, ti addan iti nangato ang mortality, nga garup 2,058.72 iti total registered deaths. Nailistamat ang leading causes ti pupusay, dagiti natatangan, ti cardiovascular diseases kan pneumonia. Kabiyatan na naituding amang sangka ti Local Civil Registry Office kan Philippine Statistics Authority iti nagduduma a programa iti selebrasyon ti Civil Registration Month ita a Pebrero. Kabiyatan na damagmut manibot iti Philippine News Agency. Umawawat ti Commission on Elections Baguio iti aplikasyon dagiti eligible individual para iti local absentee voting. Sigon kini Comelec Baguio Election Officer Attorney John Paul Martin, ti LAV ket pribilehiyo kadagiti police officer, soldier, teacher, that duma a government employee kan coming to media asaan ang makapagbutos inton May 12. Inisyatibo daytoy iti komisyon tapno makipasatdalata iti eleksyon no madutukan da nga a duty iti mismong aldaw ti panagbubutos nga ure awanda iti lugar da. Mabalin nga agaplikbar iti Comelec Central Office iti Manila wenno iti local Comelec offices aging ga inton March 7. Iti sidong ti LAV ti laang national positions ti mabutusan inton April 28 to 30. Kalpasan di eleksyon, may patulod dagiti sealed balot iti LAV division. Agsina ti canvassing kan voting process gaputa agduma ti maramat a balota manibod kadagiti regular voter. Dagiti damdamag manipod dito'y PTV Cordillera, siya ni Ala Sungduan. Naimbag, Arabi.
Many thanks, Ala. And so that's a wrap for this evening's show. Join us again tomorrow night for the breaking stories at the hour. And always keep it here for news you can count on, news you can trust. Sharms Espina here wishing you all a restful night ahead. And thank you for watching PTV News Now.